Oh my gosh, I'm so late. Hello, it's me. Hi, it's me, Scott. I forgot to do something though. I think I did most of the things. How are you today? Hope everyone is safe and well. I've been going back to it's only my second day doing it, but going back into the museum in the mornings and doing a little bit of work, trying to do so safely. But it is nice to have access to some equipment again. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? Well, I got a couple of things at the museum yesterday. One of them is this thing over here that I'm not even gonna pick up because I don't wanna break it. Well, maybe I'll pick it up. I think it's unplugged. This looking glass display, this very fancy object. And it's kind of amazing, and it's somehow simultaneously the most high-tech thing I've ever seen and like lowest tech. It is this amazing, it's the developer kit, and it's the small developer kit, but it is like this miraculous combination of high and low tech. And some things on it look great, like just astoundingly great, like welcome to the future. And some of it just is so like noisy and grainy and bad. I don't understand it yet, but maybe we'll look at that. I'm gonna look at that next week when I have a slightly better handle on it. I also got this guy, the Sleep Motion, and it's funny, this little fellow. Look at that IR. It's bright infrared light. It's red when I look at it, but this camera must have not have an IR filter, I guess. Infrared. Anyway, this thing's cool. They came out, it's got to be close to 10 years ago, 8 or 9 10 years ago. And we talked about them a little bit, and there's this sad thing where they're like, I don't know, it's this technology that I think is really cool that just has not quite found its place in the world. In fact, it's sort of surprising that it still seems like the same hardware it was all those years ago. But it is basically just a little sensor that is optimized for computer vision of hands. It's very much about hand tracking. And when it first came out, it seemed amazing. There was a laptop that incorporated it, and then it kind of like vanished for years. You didn't hear anything. You just didn't hear stuff about it. You'd see it in projects occasionally. Lots of like home projects sitting in front of a laptop. I have not seen it incorporated into many things, which makes Jacqueline, how's it going? Makes me a little nervous because like my experience with it was pretty good, but like, is it not good? Is it not reliable for some reason? Like, why haven't I seen this in more installations? So that's a concern. Also, they seem to have shifted focus in a way that's really confusing to me, where they're heavily focused on using this for hand tracking in VR, which seems, I mean, it's cool. They've been doing that for a few years, where you like slap it on the front of a Oculus Rift, and then you can track your hands in it, and that's pretty cool, except the newer headsets, at least the Quest, has beta hand tracking already. So like, I don't know. I'm worried about this little thing because I think it's cool. It just somehow hasn't found its place in the world. I don't know. It seems really surprising to me that something that seems so interesting and works so well. So anyway, I'm interested in trying it out. Again, I'm nervous about it, largely because I just haven't seen it used out in the world. They do ship it with the Looking Glass. So you can choose to ship it with Looking Glass. For some reason, they charge you more instead of giving you a discount. But so then you have 3D touch and a 3D display, and that's pretty cool. But it feels like there's problems or there's something I'm missing. So anyway, I just want to play with it a little bit today. So first, let's do splash. Find some nice Norwegian wallpaper. And I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I don't know if I want to use either of these things. This is weird because the wallpaper that Splash is showing is not the wallpaper I'm seeing on my screen. Now it is. Okay. This is Nice Norwegian plants. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it's like in the water. There's that cool place again. Okay, we'll move on very soon. Honest. I just gotta find the right wallpaper, you know, it's important. We've seen that one before. I like it, or we've seen that location before at least. That's kind of nice. Let's do this. Okay, so what is Leap Motion? They're cool and they're inexpensive. Why? You can even get them at Best Buy? So yeah, so a couple things bother me a little bit. I want to try this, but it's very expensive. Is like, why haven't I seen this more in the world? And do they care that much about the desktop hand tracking if they're moving so much to VR tech? And like, what's that going to mean for them as a company when just the headset's incorporated? That's really... I don't know what to think. And it kind of bums me out because it seemed like it was a really community-driven thing, but we've lost some... they're like moving away from supporting... You know, when it first came out, it was like, oh man, amazing. You can support... It works on Mac, it works on Windows, you can use JavaScript, and you can use Unity. What do they add here? Oh, this Leap C. That's their special sort of low-level API to build on. But now the latest versions, I feel like this is misleading. I don't think this is actually true. Well, that's Legacy, sorry. Legacy Orion. So Orion seems to be what they call their VR hand tracking stuff, but that's also the thing that's supported. So even if you want to do desktop, it's pretty weird. I feel like their messaging is not great. So but with the latest, all that's supported is Windows and these three platforms. And it seems like they're kind of just, I mean, kudos to them. This is all still very actively developed. The last update was May 20, but I don't know. It feels a little weird. So we can look at, can I use the Leap app home? Is this gonna work? Seems like it's not working. Oh, wait. Here it is. I did something for this forever, but I don't think I actually published it. Okay. Oh. Well, let's go to the Moonlit River. This can actually work if I put it over here. No. Oh, it is. Okay. I don't know if these will work though with like these legacy. Since I have the latest version installed, maybe it just doesn't work. Which would be kind of a bummer. So does that mean they have this app store of apps that don't work and there's no indication of maybe those are things I downloaded 100 years ago on this account? Well, I kind of want to try the Cat Explorer, but I don't want VR stuff. So I want Orion. I want desktop though. Interesting. A human skull. Okay, but is this gonna work with Orion? Like, I'm pretty confused about this. So does Orion, are these all VR examples? So who the heck knows? So this is Windows with the Rift vibe, etc. It looks fun, but not what I want. Rift vibe. Yeah, your search is not so great here, friends. Because I only want to filter by 2 things. That's Sleep Motion version 2. So does that mean this is really confusing. Not pleased. I'm not pleased. Leap Motion 2, which is not going to be supported anymore. This thing. Well, this says Aura Orion. So why don't you work? My Leap Motion is extremely plugged in. Like, it just couldn't be more plugged in. Did you hear the jingle? It means it's there. I push buttons until something happens. Yeah, it seems broken. Is it because I have Unity open and Unity is somehow using it? I don't even have Unity open. Not very impressed here at the moment. Desktop. The Veil. It says version 2 Aura Orion. Well, I don't want to download it separately. I thought I could do it here. Leap Motion app home. It's kind of bumming me out. Like this is honestly just kind of turning me off. Like even if you go, like the first thing that's sort of turning me off is like as soon as you get it going, and you look at the visualizer the software ships with, first thing it says is Orion performs best in head-mounted display. It's like, there's my hands though. Hello. Hello. So this is desktop mode, meaning this little thing sits on the desk and it looks up, and the idea is sort of that you stick your hands over it. And it's good. It's good. It's fast. It's pretty reliable with crazy movements. It is okay with hand kind of poses and gestures after it's been tracked though. Like if my hand is off and I bring it on as a in this shape, well, now it's working. Earlier it wasn't. But see how the finger's kind of losing its mind a little bit? Like it can't quite figure out what my finger's doing. So it's cool. It does a pretty good job. See, like coming in like this, it can't get it. Look at my veins in this IR. Ooh. But then once it gets it, it's actually pretty good at figuring out what's going on. It's pretty good at not false positiving, like thinking my face is a hand. I was thinking there was a hand on my shirt earlier, but like this is a weird view of me. I look like a ghost in the mist. So I haven't done a ton with this. When I got that development unit a million years ago, I just did I did like a little dancing robot kind of thing, like a little marionette. I did it in JavaScript. Kind of surprised that the frame rate's not better. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Well, anyway, let's just play with it a little bit and see what we decide. So yeah, I guess in general, like maybe it's just because there's a weird I don't know, like a shift. Also, the dates on these are not promising. Is 2017 the last time somebody added something to this? Yes, advanced search. Okay, maybe this is what I wanted. I want Orion and desktop and Windows search. It says Orion, but then right here it says this might not work with Orion. It's also 2017. So, like, what is everything 2017? Is there just something wrong? Maybe they like moved the store over and did it in 2017. But you know, you see what I mean? It's like something just doesn't feel quite right. And that makes me a little nervous. And it makes me like, you know, even with my quick tests to say, well, it's cool. It's a cool machine, but like, is it? Is it going to break? Is it not reliable? Does it not work very well in like certain situations? Like, what is the, I guess, do I want to center an entire, the interaction of an entire project around this thing that I don't necessarily have a ton of confidence in? And that is a worry. So here's this also bugs me. Like the new Orion stuff ships with one desktop example. I mean, okay, let's be fair. Let's go back to the leap. That was definitely the wrong button. Let's go back to their little app store. However I do that. I really don't understand why it's a separate executable, but then you can't install things in this executable. Okay, but just assuming that this is the newest of the new. This is 2016. So, is it, maybe it goes in, okay, was it all examples, all experiences? 2016. 2018, it's a little better. Okay, but are we getting better going this way then? Okay, maybe this is a hand-curated experience here. Base rig. That one's got cool shapes. Straight up cruising, it says. Everybody loves straight up cruising. This one's got a cool trailer. Kind of like the aesthetic of this. She's got a headset now. Oh my gosh. Who could have predicted? 2017 though. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than I feel some reservations. I really wonder if the hardware I have, that first dev unit, still works with the latest software. Anyway, in Unity, games with this example scene, and again, slightly frustrating, there's only really the one desktop example and a bunch of VR examples, which just kind of makes me think they don't care. Like they decided to go hard on desktop or on VR, but is that wise? Is it wise? Who knows? And also, you know, what really is this? It's a camera and some light and some good computer vision software. So it just feels weird that it hasn't evolved much in a very long time. So I can get a hand, I can get a couple of hands. The hands go away, they come back. Pretty good at like knowing what hand's what. Definitely doesn't like some stuff. So part of it is that you wouldn't want to use this in installation unless you felt like it was really easy and obvious. Like, put your hand in a place and then just, you know, I don't want to get into like gestures and things you have to learn if it's for an installation. I want it to be like, you can put your hand in and then you have some ability to do something. I'm just curious, like slightly blocking the view, the view of where my finger is. It used to do also like you could do a pencil or chopstick or something. I don't know how to do that now, or even if you can anymore. Okay, so if we wanted to make a little thing today using this, what would we want to do? We might want to use the VFX graph. There's actually some other hand models in here. Oh, I see. There's capsules. Somehow turning them off. Oh, that's weird. Apparently, that doesn't actually disable the hands. Okay, that's fine. It's the clone. And it looks like it gives me some impression of the wrist, which is cool too. So, what might we want to do? Well, we might want to get the this. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have visual effects graph. Guess we also need an update to VS Code editor. Wow. I'm not going to do that on stream. Okay. Do we also need Universal Render Pipeline for this? I thought you did. If I can click the documentation button, ever, maybe we'll know. Did it work, Unity? It's like it's asking me something. Hello? Hello? Okay, we're just slowly importing things. Okay, now I opened that window 44 times, but that's not the window we wanted. We wanted what? The effects graph documentation. So yeah, it has to be Universal Render Pipeline or High Definition Render Pipeline, which is a bummer because I do not think that the Looking Glass supports Universal Render Pipeline. Seems to be the case. Okay, so we got all this stuff, and we got what's the way to do this? So if we just do a visual effect, it's not going to work. We need to make a pipeline asset. And we need to project settings, and one of these, and one of these. Oh, they should make that a little more straightforward. Okay, so this should still work. Hopefully, it just won't render, which is fine. So the hand model drawing is a little funny. Let's get set up runtime. Yes, Loop Service Provider. Okay, so a visual effect. Right. So there are these systems, these existing systems. Where'd you go, little friend? So I'm going to ditch that one. That's the wrong one. I deleted the wrong one. This is the particle strip. Field transformation. That's just we're feeding y into. Turbulence. But I want this thing. Okay. So I think you can do this. I think we can do a. We just want a simple particle system, probably. To start with. Okay. But I believe with property bindings we can. I can input mouse binder, input touch binder, a light binder, a multiple position binder, a position binder. So we need to then if we were just going to start with this. We probably want that world. I'm confused about where we are in space with this. I'm very confused today, turns out. But that's a little weird, because if that's 0, 0, 0, then that is relative, even though this says world. I haven't really done much with this kind of thing yet. So if we had a position, properties, position, target transform is U. We did not expose position. Is that only a runtime thing? Position is bound to position. Not you. Seem to be doing nothing. Well, I'm only doing that in the initialize. I wouldn't really want to do it here. I kind of want to only do it when a particle is created. I want to set its position world. Is that better? What critical thing am I missing? Maybe I need to give this a name. Finger position. Know where this is? Oh. Well, you're just broken. Finger position. That's the finger position. So why am I not able to bind? Did my name not work? Finger position. It's a position. Get in here. That's the name of that property. Show property gizmo. Okay, that works. So then if this is bound to that, which it isn't for some reason, finger position. What does this script do? Why doesn't it work? This binding is not correctly configured. Not super useful, right? Please ensure property is valid. Well, I got the property by clicking here, saying finger position. And the target is a thing. What is the, I think there is some kind of like validator. No, I don't want via, that's wrong. Is that right? Don't I want... What? Oh, this is the property binding. Yes. Okay, right. Got it. Kind of confusing. Okay, we want a property binder that is a position property binder. A position property binder. And we're going to bind it to finger position. And the transform we're going to pick is finger position. So why doesn't that work? So we need the one that's like position property binder or something like that. Oh, we're not going to be able to find it. What was this called? Transform property binder. We may have to go dig that out of here. VFX position property binder. If component has vector 3. So if target isn't null and component has a vector 3. Oh, is that my problem? Does this actually need to be not a position, but a vector 3? It'd be a little weird, right? Called finger position. Still look broken. Oh, that one needs to be exposed. How could I forget to expose it? Okay. Okay, that was not very clear at all. The position binder doesn't use a position. Whatever that means. Uses vector 3. Maybe I'm just not understanding. I'm pretty clearly not understanding, but so does this work now? This is a lot of trouble for a very simple thing. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Oh yeah, we got to do it again. Wait. You're called finger position. Okay, this is actually right now. Maybe. What a pain in the butt that was. Okay, so now we like are kind of able to do something. So we can at least work on this visual effect and hopefully make it vaguely interesting. We really just want a particle. That's fine. Face the camera plane, shrink over life, color over life. Those are adequate for the moment. So I don't really want this. We do maybe want gravity. But not as much gravity. Really, we kind of sort of randomly want to be around that, but whatever. Okay, so now the question becomes, how do I... Can I get away with this? I'm guessing no. Like if I actually get a good transform on this capsule hand, it's going to move around. I have a hard time seeing my hand. Oh, rigid round hand, right, in here has an index finger. Somebody in here is a bone. Where are you, little hand? Okay, so that's not. We want the. I really want the ball at the tip, though. But it doesn't seem to draw the capsules in a way that I can easily have it. But okay, this is a lot of trouble for a really simple thing. Did I say that was bone 1 or bone 3? That's bone 3. Okay. So if we say the right hand bone 3, then I can have sparkle fingers at least. It doesn't track the pointed fingers super well. It's really hard. It's pretty inconsistent. So I kind of want this happening on all my fingers. So how could I do that? I feel like some of the examples had multiple fingers. Where's the hand material? You. I'm still confused. Where do the spheres come from? I don't. Medium polysphere. Okay. Handedness. Right-handedness. We got a cool arm. What? Maybe it's just silly and doesn't. So those are all my bones. Nothing in here is a mesh renderer. Like, it probably creates those spheres. But maybe it just like automatically gets the default material for the spheres, which would seem weird. Like, why would you do that? Because it might do one of those, like, one of those things. Sphere mat. Where do you come from? Private material. Sphere mat. New material. From material. So is that like as soon as I do this? There, okay. Okay, so let's make the camera dark. Those are really struggles sometimes. Like there's a where's that mystery hand? Is that my body? know what I kind of guess? Like my kind of just gut instinct on why I don't see this in more installation things is that it's like you just use a touch screen instead of doing weird stuff with your hands. It could be a little finicky. Looks like. That's jumping from hand to hand. We have our beautiful waterfall. What am I gonna do with it? So I have a kind of an idea on some little fun thing we could build. Okay, I need to take a short break and get some water, and then I will come back and we will talk about whether or not we want to try to do a little study today. Be right back. Hello, friends. Okay. Kind of the other thing I want to make. Sort of. Sort of? It might not be that hard. So here's what I want to do. I don't think I need to use the leap motion to do this, really. But just, that might be a cooler way to do it. But I kind of want to do a radial symmetrical drawing thing, but where you just, almost it's like a record player. It's like a spinning surface, and you don't, the idea isn't to move your finger. The idea is you just like touch your finger down, and then it draws for you. Something like that. Could even imagine doing something weird with like little LED things, like little IR pucks or something that would be trackable. Because a problem I'm running into, I'm having these ideas where it's like, oh, you do computer vision on top of a screen. So it's a screen that you're also looking at to do stuff, but like differentiating between the real things that get put on the screen and the virtual things that are shown on the screen. I haven't quite figured that one out. Okay, here's kind of what I want to try. In fact, maybe I should just, maybe it'd be easier in processing. Be a little harder to capture in processing. Okay, let's not leap for a minute. In fact, let's get out of this project and let's go to just our residency studies project. Been a very like indecisive week for me. Still having a lot of trouble deciding what it is I want to do exactly. Okay, so what do? We open a project. This will be kind of a weird one. I'm not exactly sure how this works. This is more, I keep designing these things that are probably really better as iPad apps. Not, I feel like most of my ideas have kind of been that, like interesting tablet apps, but not cool, not as cool for an installation. And that's I think largely what's bugging me. Okay, so folder spin. We just want to see, man, my brain is a little fuzzy today. Okay, so we will have a main camera. Here's how I'm thinking of doing this. Well, like our main camera, and it's just gonna look at, it's gonna be kind of a weird one. There's certainly ways I could do this not as weird as I'm about to do it, but I'm gonna do it this way. and it'll just be like 10 meters off to the side. Okay. So spin camera, both of these cameras are just going to be black, I think. Oh, maybe I can't do this in Universal Render Pipeline. That could be a problem. Okay, they're just like slightly gray. And spin camera is going to render to a render texture. Somewhere. Okay, spin camera renders to a render texture. Everybody knows that. There will be a quad here. And that quad that was the wrong thing. Material. Well, that goes on the quad, and it's unlit. Universal Render Pipeline unlit. It gets spin texture. Great. And then you can go inside here. And your size will be okay, let's try this again. Just be 0. Why can't I see you? Is it just because you barely exist? Size 0.5. Wrong. Okay. That seems correct-ish. You can sit in here. Get back in. Okay. And then spin camera can right now just look at a sphere or something. A very low resolution render texture. So that number's a little too big. Okay, so, and then the idea would be that we don't clear. Like uninitialized. Can you not clear? I just want to not, I want to do like accumulation, you know? I just want to, how can I do that? Opaque texture? No, don't move that. Move that. So with opaque texture off, does this actually do anything? Universal render pipeline, don't clear. Camera clearing depends on the camera's render type. So these didn't really do anything. I have a solid color, but even though alpha doesn't make any difference, skybox. Uninitialized is like uninitialized will contain from the previous frame. So if that was true, I would expect to move this around and have it just like accumulate all over. That doesn't look like what is happening. Receives a color buffer containing from the previous cameras. Does not clear the contents. How do you make an overlay camera? Okay, that's broken. That's pretty weird, because it's like 2 audio listeners. What a crisis. So we're just not updating anymore as an overlay camera. Don't clear depth. But this isn't about depth. It'd be pretty lame if I couldn't do something as simple as not clear the buffer. That would be pretty disappointing. Like, you would normally hope that by not clearing, you got the previous frame. So what does this say? Note that the contents of the uninitialized color buffer may vary by platform. On some platforms, the uninitialized color buffer will contain data from the previous frame. On others, uninitialized memory. Yeah, I don't want to. Okay, well. I know, Draclin, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Ugh, I'm having a crisis. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel off track. I'm feeling off track, Draclin. Oh. I'm tired. I was like so restless night, trying to think what to do with the project. I need body paint? Is that the problem? A base camera always clears its depth buffer. Okay. The start overlay receives a color buffer containing data from the previous cameras in the stack. But that's not its data. An overlay camera receives depth containing depth. Yeah, this is just not very cool. This makes things hard. How buff is the buffer? It's not very buff. little disappointing. So normally there's this thing you can do, it's called like an accumulation buffer, where like so often in computer graphics, like every frame you want to be like, all right, let's start clean slate. Start fresh. Draw the skybox, you draw everything. Next frame, draw the skybox, draw everything. An accumulation buffer is more like, you know what, let's put some stuff, and then next frame, that stuff is still there. And then you can put stuff on top of that. So it's a pretty common thing for like interesting computer graphics effects, and there doesn't seem a straightforward way to do that. Well, in this case, I would maybe not, I'd like partially fade it out. You know, that's a pretty common thing to do. Like processing is just going to accumulate. If you don't clear the background, that buffer is just there and you're going to draw to it. But you could like fade it out a little over time or scale things down or whatever. Like, and there's of course a million other ways to do this, but an accumulation buffer is one, really fast, and it's also very efficient because you're like only drawing the new additions to the frame. And so the very easy way to do this suddenly becomes a little less easy. Now I could do something real weird. I could do something weird. It gets weird. So I'd have to like capture this to a render texture, have that go into a shader with another render texture, or that would get a render texture that would get blitted to, I guess. Yeah, and it's nice. It's pretty handy, yeah, for sure. And you can normally do that in I want to say I'm almost certain I've done it in Unity before, where it's just like deliberately just don't clear the camera in the non-universal render pipeline land. But universal render pipeline land seems to be making that annoying. I kind of wish that the pipeline settings were it probably wouldn't actually work, but I think I would prefer it if you could choose to mix and match per scene, kind of. So how would we do this effect? Either you keep whatever the things are and you just draw them every frame, and that's something we could do, especially if it was just a position map. And we use the VFX graph, and you just continually add. I don't know that you can do that actually. How would you? Huh. I'm having a hard time of thinking of what the best approach like this is. Because the accumulation buffer is like, I would do it because it's easy, but it's not going to look great. Like, it wouldn't be actually the ideal. Like, I could kind of see doing it with particles. The problem is I'd only want to draw a certain number of those particles. And I've sort of done stuff like that before, where you kind of have a bunch of geometry on the GPU ready to go, but you only draw a subset. And I think, well, unfortunately, how could you choose to not draw them? You could also have a way to send them a scale, I guess. You could use an attribute map that yeah, that's actually a thing that could work. You could draw, I don't love it. Doesn't seem terrific. You still max out on particles eventually. Okay, I need to think about this for a minute. I'm sorry, I have to take another short break, and then I'll come back, and then maybe we'll try again. Excuse me, please. Okay, I'm back. I feel like we covered a lot of ground last week. We did lots of studies, really maybe the last 2 weeks. I don't know that they were very focused, but this week just hasn't felt quite as focused. On some other projects I've made headway, which has been good. On this project, well, I'm not exactly making a lot of headway. Okay, so what were we thinking about? We were thinking about I wanted some sort of persistent drawing way to do something. And I think it's you've got a blit. It's weird because a camera's got to render to a texture, and then you want to combine that with an existing texture that you just sort of keep blitting to, I think. I think that's the thing. Okay. Let's think about this. How do we do this? You wanted to blend two images with a shader. There's an operation called blend, right? Maybe that's not true. No, we'd need all these little. That's cool. But if you wanted it like an additive blend, you wouldn't want to though. You'd just want to sit on top. It would just be alpha, right? You kind of mix the two layers. Okay, let's try this. We're off track here. I feel like we're off track. You know what I want to do actually? I want to stop working and I want to make some fake amiibo. That's what I want to do. I've been stuck with Beardo for months. I've not been able to get rid of that guy. I didn't like him from the start, but I felt like I got railroaded into him because he was my first camper. I accidentally invited him, maybe. I don't even feel like I invited him. I feel like he just decided to show up. So, pretty outraged. What the heck is this? Asset importer. Okay. So how would you actually do this? You would render your frame, and then you would have the old frame. Yeah, okay. This is I don't know. Let's try it. This is kind of a weird one. What do we call this one? Spin buffer. So we want a new render texture called buffer. I gotta remember how to do this stuff. Unity blit. And when is it appropriate to blit? You do whatever you want. I thought you had to do camera post render or whatever. I always forget what the order is. There's that order, yeah, this thing. Because you want to wait until the camera renders. What you could do with a coroutine. So Like I want to do it after one camera renders. I mean, ideally you do it after one camera renders, but before the other one? Is that insane? Or is the other camera just always one frame behind? Or like, or you can wait till end of frame in the coroutine and then you do your blit. And then so like the other camera is just one frame behind. It's kind of a weird one. Oh, or Or, okay, how would this actually work with this overlay camera stack thing? Could you stack a camera on itself? Probably not. Because you would say, like, here's what the camera sees. I feel like there's a way to do this with the stacking, actually. So what would that look like? If this is an overlay camera, it means you get what the previous camera had. And if you were looking at a render image, like, this is hurting my brain a little bit. How would you do this? Render to, so you'd see then the output of this. I don't know if that's, I mean, whatever. I don't think it actually is very good. So on render image, I don't know how that, like, the camera order comes into play in that case, actually, but. All rendering is complete to render image. Can I still use this in Universal Render Pipeline land? Not sure about that. Sorry. Okay. I'm so distracted today. Can't focus, whatever. So, yeah, like here we would blit. Man, this is a weird one though, because you'd have to set. Let's just try it. So, but what do I actually get here? The result should end up in destination render texture. When there are multiple filters touching, does this work in Universal Render Pipeline though? I kind of feel like it doesn't. Great. Yeah, I think this is not. I think this is slightly a lie. Or just dated. Maybe it's more like on post render. It's just a time when a thing happens. Renders all the frame to frame. Yeah, I could also just do wait for frame. drawing simple colored things. What? What does this do? Oh, wow, really? I feel like this isn't going to work either. Yeah, there's so many weird things now with Universal Render Pipeline that I don't know if some of the old tricks work. But the idea of in-post render, that I can like render through a texture to another thing, probably holds up, right? Really not an easier way to accumulate. Oh, I know a really silly way to do it. I think. Maybe. This might make Unity really mad. I don't know. Like, if I show the image I'm rendering to while I do it, will that do the thing? Ah, come on, I really thought this was gonna work. There's like no, this render image isn't the last frame's render image. I kind of would have thought it would be. Like, I'm rendering, looking to a render texture, but then I have that same render texture in the scene. You would think that that would be what I want, right? Or is it like, because my frame rate's so high, okay, my fun plan didn't work. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna what? Maybe just try the blit and try it in on post render. And I don't know. This doesn't really feel like it's gonna work. But what else am I gonna do with my life? Let's just totally reset this guy. And let's do some stuff. So the thing we would have to do is like spin render. And in the post render of this thing, this is a pretty weird one, but I think it might work. So we will need a shader. It's an unlit shader called Spee? No. Spin. So we'll have like the main texture and the last texture. And then we don't care about fog. My thinking may be totally off on this, but we'll see. Take that. UVs are the font. We can use the same UVs. I screwed up. And then lerp by something like that. I don't think that's quite right, but it's something like that. Okay, so the idea is, and then we need a material. That's like our spin blend. It's gonna be called spin blend. What's your problem? 51. Definitely missing some letters in there. And the spin, we'll want to know about material, called blend material, and we'll want to know about texture A. This is an insane way to do this, right? And on post render, like, can I even actually do this? Like blit to, okay, well, one thing is a bummer. If blitting is only texture sources, do render textures count? Maybe so. Okay. So we want to go from texture A to texture B through with a material. Don't know what this is. So it's a little weird because then what's the like if I give it a material. Okay, it will set dest as the render target and source main text. So it automatically does this. So actually we gotta we could do that manually, but whatever. Okay, so we are, yeah, every frame we're going to render, we're going to take whatever we just rendered. Oh no, I have a problem. Maybe I have a problem, maybe I don't. I'm back over here. You are all... I didn't really want that middle line. So material will be... So spin blend goes on this. Oh, I keep saving that in the wrong place. That's a thing I do sometimes. Okay, you are going to sit on here. You are going to take the blend material. This is definitely, feels like not the right way to do this, but it will. Okay, we're gonna take, let's just, does this even run? Okay, these look very broken. Probably because this one is actually, should be output is A. I'm not getting anything in B, so that seems like it's not working. So you're rendering to A, and then A to B through spin blend. Oh, we're not setting. Well, okay, what if we were just color A? Because then I would actually expect that to work. It does not. Why wouldn't that work? Let's verify that this is running. How about a different language? Seems like no. So maybe we just do wait for end of frame. Can I have an I enumerator? Yeah, kind of something like this. Just infinite loop. And then do this. Feels a little crazy also. This shouldn't be this hard. It should be easier to do this. Unity. Okay. So we did get in there. Redefinition of main text. What? I ended up with a space there. And there. And there. That looks like a me problem. Okay. We got the same thing in both textures, which is what we don't want that, but that was our test. Don't need to do this. So what we do need to do is material.set blend material.set texture last text needs to be texture B, and then that's also what we're going to render to. I don't know if this is going to work. Feels like a really weird way to do this. Oh yeah, and then we need to actually blend it. I don't know if this is correct either. Okay, alpha dot A. It's like, is that backwards? My brain just may be fully off today. Okay, but like, why? If I'm continually dumping back into you, let's just try this in a weird way. So we're like blending these, but the accumulation still not really work the way I would expect. Okay, I'm apparently just wrong. Also, you don't need to be with graphic. You're not. Oh, that's just still looking at our old buffer. Okay. That seem weird. Well, let's just add. Because then we're continually feeding back. Are we doing the right thing here? Maybe you can't do this. Also, I mean, that's a distinct possibility. Is that the thing I'm doing is just a thing you cannot reasonably do. Because I'm rendering to from A to B. And those are set correctly. Texture A, texture B. Maybe you can't do this. Like, maybe you can't blit something to itself. And I would have to have some additional copy or something. Very weird to think about, actually. Okay. Seems like the thing doesn't work. Wait, you're solid coloring. Well, that shouldn't matter. Should not make a difference. I guess it could be possible that I actually need like a third buffer. I think my brain's just not working very well today, apparently. Why? Whatever the last render is. So if this goes in, and my source is and this is going to end up in texture B. Maybe it just doesn't work the way I think it does, or maybe it works differently because it's universal render pipeline, or maybe I'm just wrong. And it does work the way I think it does, but I'm doing it incorrectly. Yeah, because I'm especially confused about why I couldn't do the thing where the camera was just looking at itself. Like, doesn't that feel like a thing that should work? Like, just the camera's looking at it. I mean, that's essentially what I'm doing here. So if the camera's in the background and it's looking at that, then why? That feels like that should have worked. Well, there's other ways to do this, I guess. Do it all as like pixel kinds of operations. You can do it with something else in graphics. I've done it for just like draw. Like you just wanted to draw on a texture. And in fact, you could blit with a location and a scale. So you say like stick this in there.
You live in a different world.
Yeah, this kind of thing. So that always went to the render texture. So what would that look like exactly? So inside here, I'm honestly just a little tired today. I mean, I'm doing a bad job, but I'm a little tired today. So maybe I will retire a little earlier. So yeah, another way to think about this is, excuse me, we don't do the material stuff. We just have a render texture. And we blit something, like blit texture A to texture B at a certain position. So, and it is like this signature. The source texture, yeah. I don't really know, I'm just guessing. And new vector to like point. I guess these are UV coordinates? I don't know. Like normalized. So this is sort of saying, and in fact, then this one's a render texture and one's not. One's just a texture. And okay, so this will have nothing to do with our sphere. If we could at least try. If we stuck something in here like this, and then looked at this. Nailed it. Okay, the scale is something interesting. So we'd actually, it would be like 10. Maybe. Yeah. How do you not repeat it, though? I'm gonna just like blit to a... I feel like I've done this way. Source and custom render textures with double buffering. Cool. Custom render texture? Double buffered, so that you can access it during its own update. Otherwise, the custom render texture will not be double buffered. Oh. Oh. Directly to the texture. Okay. Now... maybe that was my whole problem. This. Okay, but that's not a... is that a thing I can just set here? Nope. Okay, that kind of makes sense though. That. Oh my gosh, I can buy followers and viewers. Perfect. Finally. I'm say that feels a little like spam. I mean, maybe that's just like, I almost pushed the button to gift you $1 million. Okay, so maybe that's not how I did this. Maybe it's like copy texture. That's not right. Is it copy? So you can do like a source. Yeah, you can do this. This wasn't really what I'm thinking of though, right? I mean, I guess if you have a small image, gosh, how have I done this? I feel like I've done this a lot of times, but I don't think it must have not been blit. I think it was copy texture, draw texture. I can't even remember the last time I did it to remember how I did it. Maybe it was that, that heat unity example. Just show me my repositories. Why? I don't ever want to see anything from your GitHub other than my repositories. Heat? Was it in this? Did we do? Yeah, because we like drew on the globe, right? We terraformed. How did I do this? Past self? What are your secrets? No, that's not how we did it. At all. We did this in a really silly way. I mean, it was a reasonable way, but kind of silly. We've been streaming for 2 hours and we've accomplished nothing. Just keep hitting strange roadblocks. Okay, seriously, we never drew with one of these? Thought it was this one. I've done it a million times. How do you do it? No. Maybe it was copy. But then how did I... Whoa. Draws procedural geometry on the GPU. Does a draw call on the GPU without any vertex or index buffers? Oh, for compute buffery stuff. But then the... What is the topology? How does it work? So many things. Okay. Draw on texture with mouse. I can't believe I can't remember how to do this. I don't have a functional brain today. No. I've 1,000% done this before. Copy texture almost feels right. I just can't remember what the... It was an old one. I mean, this could kind of work if I had a small sprite. So like, where's that default particle? Did I not see it? We'll never see it. We'll never know. So that's like 64 by 64. So we could do... to the destination XY. We need this signature. Okay, I apologize, but I need a short break, and I will be back, and then maybe we'll try this thing. I can't believe I'm having this much trouble just drawing, but it's one of those days. See you in a minute. Okay, this is ridiculous, but I gotta stop. I have to stop streaming. I have to go meet someone for a work socially distanced asset handoff. So nuts. It's okay. Okay. Well, it was like super not productive stream, but I am remembering, I think I did use the copy texture last time. And then for different sizes, if you wanted to have like a thing that you drew, you could do use different bitmap levels. I really am like kind of shocked by the accumulation buffer thing. It must be a double buffer problem. And I probably could have done it with 2 buffers that I switched back and forth between. That kind of rings a bell now. But anyway, whatever. Some days, you know, we've said it before, you win some and you lose some, and a few get rained out. So maybe next week we will accomplish more. I hope so. I'll see you then. Bye.